Hi my loves, thanks for returning. As you know by the thumbnail, this video is going to be on foundations that are best for acne prone skin. So if you're interested, then just keep watching. So during this video, I'm going to talk about some foundations that are good for acne prone skin. I have 2 powders as well as 4 liquid foundations that I would like to talk to you all about. But before I get started, I feel as though there's a bit of a caveat that I need to talk about very briefly with you, and that is ingredients. So for those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I'm the little lady that loves to look at ingredients because I like to know what I'm putting on my face. With that being said, I think it's important to avoid certain ingredients if you do have acne prone skin, or even if you don't, even if you just have a few breakouts here and there. Like me, I'm in my upper 40s and I'm still having issues with breaking out. And you know, breaking out could be from a multitude of things, but ingredients are something that we really do need to pay attention to. And that's with everything that we put on our face as well as things that we put on our body. When looking for foundations that are good for acne prone skin, you want to look for things like oil-free, water-based, non-comedogenic. You want to look for those words. Also, you want to look for the ingredients. Check and see what they are actually putting into the foundation. Also, there is a website, and I will link it down below, by the name of cos.dna.com. So on this website, you can put in any foundation. It has a column for acne, for irritation, and safety. So I think this is something good to have, especially if you're out and about shopping. You could put your foundation in there and it will tell you whether it has ingredients that are not suited for acne prone skin. Now I'm going to tell you all a few ingredients that you might want to avoid, but that's not necessarily to say if you see this ingredient in your foundation that you totally avoid it. Now let me tell you what I'm talking about. Typically the first couple of ingredients will be the ingredients that are found most in the foundation. So if you see an ingredient that you know you're supposed to stay away from and it's at the bottom, it's typically not going to be an issue. With that being said, I've always found it interesting when some companies will say, oh, it's got antioxidants, it's got this ingredient, and it's got this ingredient, and all of those ingredients are low on the totem pole. Well, no, I need those ingredients to be on the top of the totem pole. So there are some egregious offenders that I need to tell you all about. I will leave a link below where you can find a complete list of ingredients that you probably would want to avoid. But some major offenders are PEG8 stearate, isopropyl palmitate, sodium lauryl sulfate, and propylene glycol monostearate. So those are some egregious offenders. If you see any of those ingredients at the top or the first, within the first 4, I would say, or the first 5, you might want to exercise caution. Also, I want to encourage you all to look at the ingredients that are in your skincare. So if you have a skincare product, let's say a moisturizer, and if you look at the first few ingredients and all of them are some of those egregious offenders, it's probably going to be counterproductive if you have a foundation that is excellent, or as excellent could be, for acne prone skin. And because of that, you'll have someone who is using a product that has claimed to be non-comedogenic, that is a foundation, but they've just applied some skincare, some type of skincare that does have pore clogging ingredients in there. So that's just something to pay attention to. And I know that it seems a bit much, but if you have issues with acne, or if you're trying to get your skin as clear as possible, and that's the whole goal, you know, we just want to get it as clear as possible, it might behoove you to look at the ingredients and pick some products that are not going to clog your pores. So with all of that being said, let's get to these foundations. So the first one I want to start off with is this powder foundation by MAC. This is the MAC Studio Fix foundation, and I've had this one for a while. The shade that I have is 8C, but this is a really good foundation. It has a matte finish, it has medium coverage, and it's also listed as non-comedogenic, which is excellent if you're looking for a foundation that's not going to clog your pores. And the next one that I have is by Neutrogena, and this is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint. So this foundation is listed as oil-free, it's listed as non-comedogenic. It also has hyaluronic acid, which means it's going to provide moisture to your skin. It doesn't settle into fine lines, and it's going to improve your suppleness over time. So I really like this foundation. What I don't like about it is that it doesn't have a large shade range, but this is a really good foundation for acne prone skin. It's my all-time favorite. I've talked about it probably a trillion times on my channel, but that's okay. That's okay. It's a healthy foundation. This is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation, and this has the Brightening Complex. Now they have extended their shades, and they do have a lot of shades. A friend of mine here on YouTube did a complete and thorough review of this foundation and all of their shades. They sent her all of the shades. I'll link a card up above. So I know a lot of people think, oh, Physicians Formula, they don't have a lot of shade range, but this one, they really do. She talks in depth about this foundation. It is extremely healthy for you, and it also has hyaluronic acid, so it's good for you if you have dry skin. But definitely check this one out because it is really good for acne prone skin. The next one that I have is by number 7, and this is the Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Serum Foundation. So this one not only is going to be non-comedogenic, which means it's not going to clog your pores, which means it's good for acne prone skin. It also has a serum attached to it, and it's got some really good ingredients in it. This foundation is also going to tackle the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and it's also going to tackle the loss of firmness and uneven skin tone. So if this one sounds like something you could benefit from, try this one. The next one that I have is by Marc Jacobs, and this is his Shameless Youthful Look 24-Hour Foundation. And this foundation is not listed as non-comedogenic, but it is listed as oil-free. It does not have any egregious offenders that I spoke about earlier in the video, and it also is weightless. Now, I did want to speak a little bit as far as the weightless concern. Anytime a company is claiming weightless, you might want to look at their instructions on how to apply the foundation. If you apply a foundation that has been listed as weightless, but you put on 2 and 3 and 4 layers of the foundation, then yes, it will no longer be weightless. So just kind of remember that when certain companies are making that claim. Also, I wanted to read to you all what Sephora says about this foundation, and it says that it is free of parabens, formaldehyde releasing agents, phthalates, mineral oil, coal tar. It also says that it has less than 1% of synthetic fragrances, and it also has oxybenzone. And that's just to name a few things that Sephora has listed as things to know about that foundation. And I want to back up a little bit more about the claim of it being weightless. It definitely is. I am a full coverage person, but when I use that foundation, I like to specifically go back and just kind of spot apply or apply the foundation only where needed. If I have a spot here or hyperpigmentation here, it only gets applied again in those areas, and that's just to cover up any of my problem issues. The next one is by Kat Von D, and this is her Lock It foundation. This foundation is super full coverage. If you're not into that, you might want to skip this one, but this one is matte. It is also listed as non-comedogenic, and it's a really good foundation. I like full coverage foundations because it does the job the first time around. I don't have to worry about putting on a concealer to cover up any hyperpigmentation. I don't have to spot correct or anything like that. When you're using something that's full coverage, it's going to cover up everything you need. But this one is another one, the one that's good for acne prone skin. And the next one is by Smashbox. This is the Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. And this foundation is really good. It's listed as not causing breakouts or won't cause breakouts, and that is what non-comedogenic, anytime you see that verbiage, that's what that means. It also is vegan, it's cruelty free, it's marketed towards all skin types, which would be normal, combination, dry, oily. This is a really good foundation, and I don't even know why they wouldn't add weightless to it, because even when I add a second thin layer, it still feels weightless, and I really do enjoy it. It has a natural matte finish with a medium coverage. So if this one sounds like something you'd be interested in, definitely check it out. And the next one that I want to talk about is a powder. This is by Lancome, and this is the Lancome Dual Finish Foundation. You can apply this wet or dry. It's really marketed towards that, and it does look pretty. At first when I got it, I was a little hesitant, but it does work as such. This powder is great for touch-up. It is matte. This powder lasts all day. It is weightless. It kind of has like a soft matte finish, but this one is a good powder if you're looking for a powder that's good for acne-prone skin. So there you have it, short and sweet. I just wanted to get on here and talk about a few foundations that are good for acne-prone skin, but most importantly, talk about some ingredients that you might want to avoid or use less of if you have acne-prone skin. Again, I've listed some links down below. Please use them. Just download them onto your phone, and the next time you're shopping, definitely look at it. Take time, read the ingredients, because it's going to help all of us in the long run. And don't forget to look at the ingredients in your skincare as well, because it all plays a part. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until my next video, smooches.